Why British people sound so smart is because they pronounce their words very specifically.
Is that your new goal?
And that's, yeah. Well, I want to be like, but if you think about it.
Clickbait.
Like,
Kyle's trying to be
you know
British.
how, like, British people just sound smarter?
No,
Even if
I
they say this, they're like,
understand what you're
potatoes.
It's just
because
funny.
The potatoes. We were like, potatoes. They're like, potatoes, you know? Welcome to Mismatched.
Hello, guys. It's so weird now that I feel like we haven't recorded this in forever, but it's really only been a few days.
I think it seems like we're going to be sticking to it once a week. Well,
Yeah.
our lives are just busy right now.
I think until we have a set routine, just because right now Kyle's working soon and I'm not working, so our schedules are just kind of, we don't even know what we're doing. I don't even know what day it is. So, yeah, for right now, we're going to probably stick to once a week, and hopefully we'll get back to twice a week once we're more settled.
Also, once a week gives us more time to plan and think ideas through and break down points more.
Better content.
So we're going to try it for a little bit and see if the podcast improves.
Yeah.
But if not, we'll go back to twice.
And if you guys are like, once a week isn't even that much of a difference, I missed twice, just tell us. We want to know what you guys think.
So it's officially been 2 weeks in Australia.
Yep.
I like it so far.
I am getting better. It's like, it's a progression.
Yeah, it's been like waves. Like the first couple of days, I was like, maybe bad idea. And then got used to it. I'm like more comfortable with the people we live with now. And I've just found a job, which is a reassurance, and I like it so far.
Yeah, I don't have that reassurance because I'm unemployed. So, yeah, you also just have a good mentality. You're just mentally strong. I'm not the most mentally strong. So, but I'm getting a lot better, honestly. I don't cry like every day now, so that's good.
Yeah, you've been going through waves.
Well, yeah. Some days are good and bad days. Usually it's morning for some reason, which is ironic because mornings are my favorite time, but mornings are always bad. And then it gets better throughout the day.
Really? I find that, well, like not now, but like if I'm going through something, nights are always the worst right before I go to bed. And I sleep it off and wake up and I'm feeling better.
See, for me, nights is my time that I like, because at night we usually just like chill.
Yeah.
So then I just like relax and I don't think and I just calm down. And then the morning, since like usually my mornings is when my brain's most active, I'm like, go, what do I gotta do? Productive, time to do this. And then I hear and then I have time to think and be like, you don't have anything to do because you don't have a job. So then I start freaking out. I'm getting to the point that I applied to be a Domino's driver today.
That'd be cool. I would like to be a pizza delivery driver.
Okay, see, that was, for me, that was like you've hit rock bottom when you're applying.
Anything with driving. I think I enjoy driving. So if I just get to drive around, that's cool.
No, I don't want to drive. And
unless it's at like midnight.
No, it's an overnight shift.
Oh, okay, never mind.
It's like for the first few hours I'd be not serving as a Domino's, but doing cashier. And then from like midnight to 4 a.m. I would be driving. For $16 an hour. Which in Australian, that's minimum wage is $25. But, it's a job, so we're just applying for everything.
It's not even legal. I guess because you get tips.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't care. I know something good's gonna come, and it's all gonna work out, and Brittany Melville's gonna hire me, and I'm gonna have a bomb-ass wardrobe.
Speaking of uncertainty, that is kind of the topic of today's podcast. Recently, in the last, we touched about this a little bit in our previous podcast, but it's coming to the end. You're getting near the end of like the school year. My age, if you didn't take a gap year, are graduating. Some of our younger friends are leaving high school. Some people just in the middle of university are starting to have to make decisions that are going to affect their graduation and their future. And it's created this level of uncertainty, and people have been coming to us pretty frequently lately and asking how we dealt with the uncertainty of leaving school and coming here and just not always being in control of things. So we'd like to dedicate a podcast just to that and how do you improve how we go through uncertainty and how we look at things. Because it seems like people are in need of that right now. And we're here to help everybody.
You sound
That's
like
what we need.
such a wise owl saying all of that.
I am a wise owl.
You say uncertainty very professional. You're like, uncertainty.
You know why British people sound so smart? Is because they pronounce their words very specifically.
Is that your new goal?
And that's, yeah. Well, I want to be like, but if you think about it.
Clickbait.
Like,
Kyle's trying to be
you know
British.
how, like, British people just sound smarter?
No,
Even if
I
they say this,
understand
they're
what
like
you're
potatoes.
saying. It's just
because
funny.
the potatoes. We were like potatoes. But like potatoes, you know?
I think we should stick to potatoes.
Anyways.
Back to the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for some reason, well, I guess it makes sense. Out of where we live, we are definitely the
anomalies.
the
Anomalies.
Yeah.
Anomalies.
I was
Can't
gonna
pronounce that.
be like a dot of blue in a field of gray.
Yeah, it's an anomaly. Anomaly. Yeah, whatever.
It's been a struggle. Just because, basically everyone near us did the traditional route, and then we're just here in Australia. So people feel like they can come to us, which is awesome. It's obviously our goal with doing all of this, and for me posting on social media, is so you can come talk to us, because we want to help everyone. Can. Isn't that like everyone's goal in life, to help people? Or maybe not. I don't know. Anyways, so we just had people reaching out, asking us how they be okay. For me, more specifically anxiety wise, because everyone knows I'm anxious, and just how you deal with not knowing what to do, really, because it's all essentially the underlying theme of everything is just the fear of the unknown, because you don't know how to get a job, and you're in this weird middle space of what am I gonna do, and it's scary. But once you change your mindset and really think about it, it's not bad at all.
I think just with like starting with school, we'll start with that aspect because it's kind of the most notable one.
Yeah.
Currently, I think it kind of just starts again with like the uncertainty is that it starts with just how school is structured and how we're like brought up. Like you start when you're 4 and next year it's going to be grade 1 and then the next year's grade 2 and like you have summers from these 2 weeks, you have to take these courses, and just like everything from once you're like in kindergarten to 12th grade is just so structured.
Yeah.
And it's coming for you. Like what are you uncertain about? I guess like the only thing is like you're uncertain about like what grades you get, but you're in control of that all the time. So really there's like no like true uncertainty in that like whatever 14 years of life that if you go to kindergarten. So then when you get to pretty much 12th grade or like halfway through 11th grade, when you have to start picking your 12th grade courses, you get to a point where you're hit with this uncertainty that you've never faced before, and it just scares a lot of people, and a lot of people get really stressed out about it, and anxiety builds, and it's just like it's hard to deal with, and I went through it for sure.
Oh, me too.
Not so much. I didn't go through it in 12th grade, like leaving high school, just because I think I never really
You never were a big school guy.
I was never a big school guy. Like I wasn't worried about not going to school. I think subconsciously I didn't really want to go to school. So leaving high school, I was like, oh, whatever. Like if I get into school, I get into school. If I don't, I don't. It was more of like I don't really want to go to school.
Yeah.
But my uncertainty hit me really hard about a month or two into my first and only semester of university. And it hit me when I was trying to decide if I needed to leave this place or not. And that's the first uncertainty. I wasn't sure if I should leave it. The second one was if I did leave it, one, like how would people think of me? Two, like would I just become a failure because your people, especially like older adults, constantly instill this in your mind that if you don't go to college, you're working at McDonald's.
Yep.
So it was like crap. Like I was just so uncertain. I did not want to end up at McDonald's. So that was just like a huge one. And like honestly, I was like, I guess not like I was pretty depressed. Like I couldn't sleep nights just thinking about it. I was not my same like positive self. Like I couldn't talk to pretty much anyone. Like I
Like hide in your room.
yeah, like I reached out to like my one friend who left university at the time, and she helped me a lot actually. And it was like a big challenge, and I think that's why a lot of people like come to me or us, is just because I think now that life's gone on, they're starting to recognize how hard of a decision it was, and more people are starting to think of it too.
Yeah, I think our stories are like similar but different. For me, it was more I during grade 12 and it was time to pick what school, I was like, I have no idea what program I'd ever want to go into. And like, I just had no path at all. I was like, I have no idea what I'm good at, which is nothing. And I don't know. So then I just followed the only thing I liked, which was dance at the time. And then for me, there was no uncertainty with dropping out. As soon as I was like, as soon as I realized I could probably drop out, I did. Literally, like, did not ponder it at all.
Did it help that I had already left? Like,
Oh yeah.
like, do you think you would have been more nervous if I didn't break the ice, I guess?
I think I wouldn't have had any uncertainty if you didn't already drop out, but I would have been more scared to talk to our parents. But since I was already there when you talked to them, I was like, they reacted fine with him, they're gonna react fine with me. So then I dropped out and I was literally fine. I felt I'd never been happier. I was like so good. I was like, I'm free. And then I think people come to me because it was during the phase of everyone was going back to school and I wasn't, that I was like, oh, I guess I should like think of a plan. But honestly, I never really got that scared. I was never worried for my year off. It was, what am I going to do next year, that I was scared. Because then everyone coming to me, like at least when you dropped out, you're like, I don't like school. When I dropped out, I was like, I like school. I just don't like this school. So everyone was like, okay, so what school and what program are you going to next year? And it was back to like my grade 12-ness. And I was like, oh crap. But I think people came to me because I just dealt with it pretty well. And then just by simply doing the things that made me happy, I figured out what I wanted to do. And now I have all next year planned. So it's really, I think it's all overthinking, honestly. Like, you're going to figure out your path and what you're meant to do just by living your life and doing what you love. And then it'll just kind of happen. Like, I went into dance and education simply because my dance teacher went to York and majored in dance and education. And I was like, hey, she looks like she's having fun. I should do that. So then I did it. I didn't really actually do it for myself. And when you get out of school, you're probably lost too. Maybe you got a degree that you didn't want, or you're just worried that a job's not going to come, you're not going to get a job. But everything happens for a reason, which is so cliche. But like, you'll go through rough patches, and in those rough patches, you're going to learn a lot from it. So like for me right now, I'm probably in a rough patch, but I already have been learning so much through this rough patch. And then you'll gain knowledge from that, and it'll make you feel better.
This one, I went to this seminar a couple of years ago, and the person speaking used this like analogy, I think, or metaphor, whatever. It was just like, it was like if you're in a jungle, it's kind of like a Tarzan reference. It was like when Tarzan's swinging, he always just grabs the vine in front of him. That just like leads him to the other vines. But if he didn't grab that first vine, he would never got to the other vines.
Exactly.
And it's just like, you may not know how significant that first vine is right now, but like when you get 6 vines in, like you're gonna look back on it and like thankfully you did it.
Yeah, like you're gonna go through, if you're trying to find a job, you're gonna keep getting rejected a lot of times, most likely. But all those rejections is gonna lead to one acceptance. And you just have to remember that too, which is where I'm at right now, because I keep getting rejected. But a little bit about what I was saying, like for me personally, I, with my year, had no plan for what I was going to do this year. I was just like, I'm just going to work and try new things. And in one of those things, maybe I'll find a path. And that's exactly what happened. I just started working, and then I figured, oh, I want to try spinning, whatever. And then with that, I discovered that I want to go into a business degree and I want to go into entrepreneurship and hopefully have spinning with that. And that was just from doing things I liked and just having fun. So don't overthink and stress too much about it, because just by like doing small things, it can lead up to big things. And people looked at me really stupid because I mean, people are going to look at you wrong no matter what, because that's just the way life is. People are judgmental. But like I had a lot of people being like, are you just spending your time spinning and going to cafes with your year off? And I was like, no, I'm discovering what I want to do. And that's exactly what happened.
How did you deal with criticism from like family and friends?
So you definitely get a lot of criticism. Like my family, luckily, they're not the most, like they're not the most judgmental to you. But like you hear like the little things on the side where they're like, what is Mackenzie actually going to do?
People will come to me and ask me, so what's Kenzie actually doing? I was like, you really don't think I'm not gonna like tell her or like mention it?
I know people say that. They're like, so is Kyle just he's just still living at home? What's he doing there? And I'm like, what do you want me to say, man? But I just kind of remember that everyone has different perspectives and different views on life and what's right and what's wrong. So maybe to them, school and a 9-to-5 job is exactly what makes you successful and where you're supposed to be, which is cool. That's awesome. But they just may not understand where I'm going, what I'm going through, which is totally fine too. And they don't have to understand that, because you have to be secure with yourself and what you're doing in order, I feel like, to not let those things affect you. Like if you're not confident in your position and like your choice, then it's probably gonna be a bit harder. But just remember that they're not trying to hurt you. They're just worried.
Yeah, and use it as like
Motivation.
personally. Yeah, like when I left school and people were like, oh, or like when like Ken's just said, like people would be like, so what's Kyle actually doing? Like, is he just like living at home? He's not doing anything, right? Like I just look back. I guess it's like manifesting technically, but I'll like see, like I know in a couple of years, whatever, or when it could even be 10 years, like I'll be established, and I'll look back on this point on like when people were like, oh, like he's 21 and doesn't know what he's doing that much, like what is he gonna do? He's gonna be a failure. Like I'm gonna look back on this point and it's gonna be so insignificant. Like when people criticize me, I just go like, yep, like that's what I'm doing. Like, yeah, I'm at home right now. Yeah, I take photos. And then, you know, people are like, oh, that's cool. But I know, like, I'm very confident in myself that in a couple of years, like, it's all going to turn out. Might as well just enjoy these.
You just have to keep thinking positively, that everything has a plan and there's a reason you're doing what you're doing. So from that, just keep going, essentially. Like, don't, as Kyle says, don't worry about the things you can't control.
Yeah.
The main thing about being uncertain is also being uncertain with yourself. So in order to really, really, I think, be okay with where you are is being okay with who you are. Because if you're not sure of who you are, it's going to be hard to feel sure of what your plan is, because you're a big part of your plan. It's all you. So that's a lot of confidence and self-love. And it's so talked about in the media, but in such like a weird way. Like it's like a term, like it's just a thing. People are like, yeah, love yourself, but like, do they actually?
How do you work on that?
I think
personally,
for me, I just learned to accept that this is who I am, and you can try to mimic someone else, but you're never gonna be them. So I think I really started working on it when I went vegan, really. Because for me, like, food had a lot to do with my confidence. Like, if I can't think. Back in the day, if I ate 100 calories over my goal, I'd be like, you're a piece of shit. So, obviously wasn't very confident because I was telling myself down. But once I like accepted, like, this is who I am, these are the characteristics I have about me, this is how I look, You can accept it and be happy, or you can hate it and be miserable for the rest of your life. So it's your choice. And then I just slowly worked on looking in the mirror and being like, you're cool, instead of being like, you're fat. And I think it's just knowing, for me at least, and I luckily was just have a really good trait of this, and like girls come to me all the time with this, especially with girls and dealing with guys. They really don't know their worth and what they deserve. For some reason, girls just think they deserve to be treated like trash, which is so stupid. So like, you just have to know, if you're a good person and you are so kind to everyone and you do really nice things and you're happy with what you're doing and who you are, then with that, you'll know what you deserve. So I feel like when you're kind to your others, you become more kind to yourself, if that makes sense. Like for me, I know I'm very caring, I'm very empathetic, I treat people well. Therefore, I should be cared for. I should have someone who's empathetic and I should be treated well.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people just don't understand that. Like, they're like, oh, my boyfriend cheated on me 3 times and now he's not replying to any of my texts. I'm like, well, then why are you with him? Well, he bought me flowers one time and that was really nice. I'm like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, did you ever cheat on someone and then not reply to his text? No. So you're probably a better person and should be with someone better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's simply just knowing your worth. And with knowing your worth is just doing good things. And then everyone's happy and it's a happy world.
Mm-hmm.
There's also just, there's this analogy that I read. It's very long, but I'll make it brief. Or not analogy, it's like a experiment you can do that just talks about self-love, and it's really crazy. And it's true, I tried it. It's so weird. So you get 2 things, you make 2 things of white rice and put them in 2 separate containers. And then for like 6 months, this sounds so crazy, but you literally just speak to them. So to one of those rice, you just say good things. Like, you're so awesome. You're so beautiful. You look great. And you put it in the fridge. And the other one, you say all negative things. And you're like, you look like shit. You're a horrible person. You're going nowhere in your life. And you put it in the fridge. And you do this every day for 6 months. The rice that you talked good to will stay white. And the rice that you talked bad to will go brown and moldy. Isn't that insane?
You think it's just because like you spit more or something?
No, it's
when you say negative, like fuck.
No, it's just like, it just shows that like the reaction you have to things. So like, think if you talk and think about yourself that way, what you're doing to yourself, like you're gonna turn into brown rice. So start talking.
Don't be brown rice.
Don't be brown rice. They want to be white rice. They want to be a good jasmine. Okay, so if you just speak well about yourself, then it'll all come from that. And honestly, what I did at the beginning, because when I went vegan is when I started posting more on social media, and you obviously want to post like that you're happy most of the time on social media, which I don't, but I did at the beginning, and it's just faking it. And then eventually you're not faking it anymore. It's like so stupid, but it's so true. Like if you like take a picture and you'll be like, I love my outfit today, and then you post it, eventually you're gonna look in the mirror and be like, yeah, I do love my outfit today. So that really helped me a lot too.
So yeah, I was kind of the opposite. A way that I found a lot of self-worth was like getting rid of a lot of my social media.
Yeah, no, I agree with that too. I don't think just like unfollow the people that put you down and not bring you up. So like for me, that was like a lot of models and YouTubers, because I'd be like, I want to be and look like them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I deleted Snapchat. I deleted the Facebook app. I deleted the YouTube app. I only have the Messenger app because I have like one group chat with my friends. And I have Instagram, which I'm probably going to delete soon. Or I was thinking, because I only post like my photos there. So I think I might delete it. And then when I want to post a photo, I'll just post it and then delete it again. Mm-hmm. Just because I spend so much freaking time on it. And even when I'm like consciously trying to like, consciously not trying to use it, I still do it. Plus, like, I turned off notifications thinking that it would help me like not look at it. But I think it made it worse, because now I'm like
checking if you have
because now I'm like, what if I have a notification?
Yeah.
Like the only thing I really need to see is like someone DMs me something. I don't care about likes or new followers or whatever, but
yeah.
Other than social media, I think the biggest one for me was that I started reading a lot more. That really like humbled my ego and introduced more self-worth and brought more of like into perspective like what to value in this world. I don't say that in like a hippie kind of like, love your friends, materialism is fake, like to an extent, yes, but just I don't know, just reading a bunch of these like self-improvement books was a huge improvement in my mentality and how I look at the world and look at things. And when people speak negatively about me, like it doesn't faze me at all, because I know a lot of the time when people are speaking negatively, it's because they have something negative in their life and they just need to release it. So they just kind of like take it out on you because it makes them feel better to release.
Yeah, that's so true. People used to say about me, they're like, oh my God, aren't you so mad that this person like said you were a toothpick? Because people tell me I look like spaghetti all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be like, no, but it probably made them feel good, so they can tell me I'm spaghetti all the time if it makes them feel good.
Mm-hmm. It also made me forgive a lot of people more. Like going through that phase when people criticize me a lot, or even just now, like if you'd say or do something weird to me, like they'll take me like I'll be mad for like a second, and they'll be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, am I really gonna care about this in a year? No. And if I am gonna care about this in a year, then maybe I'll hold a grudge a little bit. But it's gotta be something pretty bad. You gotta like freaking like punch my best friend or kick my puppy or something.
True. I think it was our stages are probably really different too, because you've like always been confident. Like you just never like for like, and I think that's just also like not to generalize, but like mainly guys just are born with more confidence, just because girls like are totally more sensitive and judge each other and are mean to each other growing up.
It's because like for guys versus girls, they're just self conscious about different things.
Yeah.
Girls is like more body and appearance, and guys is kind of like more like you want to be like the man, you want to be successful and you want to be like the top alpha, like kind of thing. Goes back to whatever our roots. But like I mean, like body and stuff, but there's a reason dad bods are popular, and
Like I feel like our confidence journeys are so different, because you is more like how to improve on your confidence, and for like a lot of girls, and like for me it was like how to get confidence.
Yeah, that's a good sentence.
Because when I growing up, I had no like, and like every girl I know, like I do not know one girl who grew up with confidence. Like everyone was just so insecure, and like I didn't grow up with confidence at all. I didn't get confidence till like high school. And even in high school, I wasn't like the most confident until probably like senior year. I like really was good. So it's a different process, because we have to go from nothing to like getting confidence. And like people that's the main thing people ask me and come to me about, is like how I have so much confidence, which is funny because like even this morning I was talking to Kyle and I was like, I just feel so insecure today. Like everyone has off days. It's just the only way to get I just honestly got confidence by being nice to others.
I think the biggest, you're right. I mean, I was privileged to be like a white male living in a good neighborhood, which is like the most privilege you can almost get. But I think the biggest way I just kept my confidence was like self-awareness. Self-awareness is so big. I know it's preached a lot now, but it's true. Just like growing up, I was never the tallest, the most athletic, the prettiest, the smartest. Like I was just like I was just like a little bit good at everything. So I was very self-aware that like when someone would beat me in a sport, like on the playground or whatever, like I just like, oh yeah, like I'm not the best at that. I know that. Or if we had a pool party and some guy was jacked, like it was like, yeah, I'm not the most jacked. Like just being very self-aware and knowing like I never just compared myself to other people, because that just never works out properly.
Yeah, see, I still struggle with comparing myself.
So just like being like that, just like knowing who you are and what you're good at and whatever. And then the second one was I literally just had it in my head. Now I can't think of it. Okay, you go.
Yeah, so I was like, I can talk while you think. A big one for improving for me was once I started fueling myself with things that were going to benefit me, it just made me feel better about myself. So, like, when I started putting good things into my body and eating healthy, it just made me feel more confident because I knew I was doing good. And that just helped a lot. And it's really, I think the number one thing with confidence is who you surround yourself with. If you're surrounding yourself with negative, toxic people, you're going to feel negative and toxic as well. Like, I don't know how Kyle's been living for the last 2 weeks, but I've been like the most negative person ever. And I'm sure he's been like feeling like crap too. So if you really need to surround yourself with people who motivate you, uplift you, and are also great people, like-minded with you, and you'll feel so much better about yourself because you have a team supporting you right by your side. And that's usually why you feel most good. And I mean, in most cases, depending what your home life is like, but if you have a good home life, like you feel like okay and like okay to be yourself and feel decent when you're at home because you're surrounded by your family and they're usually, hopefully, you're uplifting people if you don't have like your friend group like that. So just not cutting, but trying to get rid of and fade out the toxic people in your life who don't bring you up. Because for me, I just like started saying no to the people that didn't really make me feel good and started just only spending time and putting effort into people who I knew made me feel good, and that made me feel a lot better about myself.
I remembered what it was. I learned this in like only like the last maybe 2 years, but just knowing that people really don't care that much. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're not the most, ripped, people really don't care. If you say something stupid and people laugh at you, they'll forget in like a second.
Yeah.
If you're just living at home and take photos and people criticize you, yeah, they say it and then what? They go back to the routine and they don't think about it. People really just don't care about other people.
No.
Like that, like to an extent, obviously. Like if you hear like gossip in the news or something, you'll just be like, oh, like how could that person do it? And then you'll just like forget about it and be like, oh, whatever, he's just doing him. you know? Like people just don't really care, and like knowing that when people say something about you or whatever, like people's thoughts on you is like they'll say it, but like truly it's not their priority.
Yeah, that's really true. Like people are just like, someone can tell you like, I don't know, your shoes are ugly, and then they'll walk away and it'll already be off their mind. Yeah. Like people just talk, and they really don't care what you're doing.
Unless it's someone nice who actually really cares about you, but then try to get a positive person.
Yeah, honestly.
Don't get someone who cares about you a lot, but just wants to put you down.
No. That's not good.
So for a recap, we just have a few things we're going to list off on our like top ways that we instill confidence in ourselves. And there's a couple repeats, a couple new ones. So the first one that both of us have really, probably the number one that improves your self-confidence, and mine, just your body image, is just a healthy living.
Yeah.
Healthy living. Just eating healthy, making an active effort to exercise. Even if it could just be like 20 minutes a day, like nothing. Do like 20 push-ups when you get out of bed. It's like, even if you don't think it's going to affect you, like it does. Like just walking, like it's not even you're at a pool party and you take your shirt off. It's really just walking around and like knowing that you feel your best.
Yeah, like I feel 20 times more confident if I ate well that day and worked out. Mm-hmm. And like working out just makes me feel more confident because I know I'm doing something great for myself and my body. Mm-hmm. And like I don't even know what it is. Like you just work out and you're just instantly more confident. Maybe just because you know you're working out, but.
And it's good for you. It'll help you live longer and it improves your cognitive abilities, actually. So it'll make you smarter.
But I'm still dumb.
According to science. This one I've touched on, but reading books, huge help. Trying to, instead of going for that Netflix document or Netflix TV show, putting that time in towards just reading like an actually good informational book. I recommend a lot of self-improvement books. But just like anything that will improve your mind and increase your cognitive abilities is definitely worth it. It's changed my life for sure. 100%. I guess, yeah. That also goes with like less time on social media. Just seeing all these fake personalities and fake like lives of these influencers and stuff like that. And if you're gonna stay on social media, only follow like the friends you really care about or accounts that really inspire you. Like I'm a photographer, so I follow a lot of like really cool like photographers that inspire like my work or I enjoy seeing.
Yeah.
Just like the fake influencer celebrity people is just never gonna help your mood.
I think if you're not at a state where you won't compare yourself to who you're following, you shouldn't follow them. And if you ever get to a state where you can just look at their stuff just because you're interested, then go for it. But if you're not there yet, then definitely unfollow. I went through a huge unfollowing spree in the summer, and it's helped a ton.
And with like likes and followers, like don't
Oh yeah, don't look at those at all.
yeah, like don't put your self-worth with how many followers or likes you get.
No.
Because that is just ridiculous.
Yeah, don't do
Just crazy. Kenz has been doing this for a while. I'm getting better at it.
You're doing pretty good. You only wake up like 30 minutes after me.
Yeah, but just like waking up early. I literally just read a whole book on why it's good to wake up early, and you just feel better. Like by the time 8 a.m. hits and you already have a workout, you've eaten and you've read a bit or something, and people are just waking up, you just like feel good and accomplished.
I love that you're saying that because I've been saying this for so long and no one gets it. They think I'm crazy.
Well, you are crazy.
You need to yeah, okay, whatever. But you need to try it. It's not even that. During the day, you don't give yourself any time where it's just yourself and you can only focus on yourself. And you just have time to do whatever you want to do, think about whatever you want to do. So when you wake up earlier, it's only about you. And that does not happen during the day. So when you wake up and you can just do what you want to do, get your workout in, get everything done, and then you've done so much before anyone else is awake, you just feel so good. And then you feel good about yourself. And you're like, yeah, I did that. I'm freaking awesome. And you now have the rest of your day to do whatever you want. And you just feel more confident about yourself.
Mm-hmm. And you gotta stick with it for a pretty like long time.
Yeah, don't give up after like a week, okay? Because I was that girl. I woke up at like 11 a.m. But like it took me some time to be able to do this, and then you just eventually like now like I wake up at 6 no matter what time I go to bed.
Yeah, like the book I read says you need at least just over 60 days.
Okay.
For it to instill in your brain.
I definitely didn't do it that long, but yeah.
Well, you're still doing it, so you
No,
obviously
but I mean, like, it didn't take me 60 days.
I know, but like after 60 days, it'll be like second nature.
Oh yeah, 100%, and it's so worth it. Mm-hmm. And then you go to bed nice and early and get a really good sleep from it too.
During the day, while you're waking up early, like I reflect on my previous day. We talked about this a bunch, but journaling is just very effective.
Yeah, So for me, I think it's just if you ever feel those negative thoughts, write them all down and you'll feel instantly better. Like you're just getting them out of you. And then write down your good things and what you're grateful for and what you're happy for. And like even like you can do it. I do that. Like if I'm having a bad day, I'll write down like everything I feel bad about. And then I just feel like, oh, okay, like it's out. It's fine. And then I write down what's good. And then for your everyday kind of journaling, just reflect on it's like a diary, honestly. Just reflect on the past day and write, well, what I do at least is, like I look back on that day and think, I liked that this happened and that I did this and I'm so grateful this happened. And you just like, it could have been the worst day ever, but you remembered those good things in it and then suddenly like every day starts to become better because you'll remember the little things. Like for instance, today I made a really good smoothie and I'm really happy that happened.
Wow. And then last one is just, when you're being nice to other people, it feels good. It's like when you give a gift, it just feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you be nice to other people, you'll just feel nicer about yourself because you're doing good things.
And you'll get into the habit of being nice to others that you'll just instantly start being nice to yourself because you're just used to being nice. Mm-hmm. And then you'll be a great person, and then this world could probably get a bit better too.
Wow, that was deep. Anyways, that concludes our podcast. That was a really deep one, but I think it was needed.
Yeah.
From what we've been hearing. So hopefully you got at least one little tidbit of information that you enjoyed.
Knowledge.
Not just us rambling for a little bit. Anyways, this has been Mismatched. I'm Kyle. I'm 37.
What? I guess Kyle's 37. I'm Kenz. I'm 19, but I look like I'm 14.
You're kidding me.